This week on the Analog Circle podcast, we get some very exciting news about the PSVR 2. The Coalition talks about their future and the direction they're headed in. Sega reveals that they're considering bringing back a few classic IPs, and we have the list of which IPs they are considering. And to top it off, multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition could possibly happen. These stories and more can be found here in episode 177 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and I want to say, as always, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I am under the gun. I gotta be to work in a little less than 2 hours. So, yeah, we're gonna have to kind of speed through here, buddy. So, it's not gonna be any video game theater or any of that stuff this episode. But, yeah, we're going to get through it. But before we officially, get into the whole episode of the news and all that stuff, if you want to be a part of listener feedback, which will be coming up and recorded on Wednesday, might slip into Thursday. We'll see what happens. You can do it 2 different ways. You can either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Now, with that being said, we are going to jump into the gaming news, because that's what we all come here for. The gaming news that went down, man. So let's jump into it. So for the second week in a row, let's talk about the Coalition. So in a Polygon article, it was reported that the Coalition has said that development on Gears 5 is winding down. You would say, how is that possible? How is it winding down? It's been out for years. Well, they have plans to include Operation 7 and 8, which will bring new maps and new characters to the game. So that's almost out of there. Now, with that being said, this is where the info gets good, because the Coalition said, and I quote, "Gears of War has always been at the front of Unreal development, and we're excited to continue that tradition by developing on UE5 for," now this is where it got me hyped up, "for multiple new projects in the coming years." End of quote. So here it is, Gears of War 5, all of the DLC, all of the operations, the 7 and the 8, all of that stuff is winding down with the new maps and the characters. And after it's finally done officially, when it's over, when it's all said and done, these guys are moving over to Unreal Engine 5. And we saw what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of when we saw the demo on the PS5, the lighting, the shading, the pixels, the textures. I mean, that demo was incredible. Now, am I saying that their next game is going to look like that? Am I saying that? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yes, it is going to look like that demo. Now, believe me, it might take a little bit of time, but I really believe that eventually they're going to get there. It's going to look like that demo, if not better. Possibly, if not better. And I'm telling you, just the fact that they're working on multiple new projects, that gets me so excited, because that means that finally, hopefully, that they are putting Gears as a whole on a hiatus. Believe me, I don't think any Xbox fan would be let down. just to have Gears sit in the background for a bit, put it on ice, and work on something new. How about y'all work on the Shanghai project that we had saw that you guys had already started at least some kind of concept of? How about Microsoft, Phil Spencer, Matt Booty? Let them go back to that. We want new IPs. We want something brand new to play. And it's not a knock towards Gears. Gears has been a really good franchise. I've enjoyed it. But it has been overly used. So I think that putting it on ice for a while, letting these guys build a brand new game, a new IP on the UE5 engine, let them bring out a game on that engine, brand new. Oh man, what a way to introduce a new IP. I think they could make a splash. I really think they will do very, very well. And plus, we got to remember, the Coalition Gears, it is not their baby. That's not something they built from the ground up. That's something they inherited. Like 343 Industries inherited Halo. Give these guys a chance to build something that they put their own blood, sweat, and tears and ideas into, and then see what they come out with. Because it's one thing that you can say, and I really believe this. The Coalition, they know how to make a good game. I'm not saying Gears 5 was amazing, but it was darn good to me. I enjoyed it. It was good. And I'm just thinking that you let these guys, just flex their own muscle. Let them go out there and do what they do what they want to do, and then see what you come up with. And on the UE5 engine, oh man, I can't wait. They're always at the forefront with that engine. So listen, man, I'm excited about this. I can't wait. Of course, I know it's years and years away, but just the fact that they're working on something new, multiple new projects, gets me hyped. Now, what I do want to let you guys know is it's been an update from our last week's episode, the story where I was talking about the Coalition was working on a Star Wars game. That was, of course, the rumors that were happening. Well, God dog, no. Pump the brakes, pump them, skirt. I mean, they came to a screeching halt earlier this week because Gears of War community manager TC Kilo, man, that's a heck of a name, Kilo. Oh, he said, and I quote, just to clarify, regarding the Star Wars thing, we are not working on any such title. We have nothing else to announce at this time. End of quote. Man, I was a little hurt. Oh, I was hoping that was in the back pocket. I was hoping it was in the tuck. I was hoping it was going to be a surprise. But according to this guy, once again, man, Mr. Kilo, goddamn brother serving bricks, Mr. Kilo has said that, nah, that's not happening. Not happening at all. So that's the community manager. We'll have to see what happens. And, yeah, man, God, dog, very, very, sad occasion that they're not working on a Star Wars game. I think it could have been excellent. Oh, well, Mr. TC Kilo, man, I will take your word for it for now. Or he might just have his poker face on. Who knows? We'll see what happens in the future. Let's go ahead into the next story. By the way, Mr. TC Kilo is not selling bricks, just for the record. God dog, I hope y'all knew I was joking. Let's go ahead and move on into the next story. So, in quick news, Days Gone on PC will not support DLLS or ray tracing. But to be fair, Ben Studios did say DLLS won't be supported, quote, at this time, end of quote. So it may come in a patch a little later on down the road. Who knows? This is for the PC guys. I would have thought, though, with all of the power of the PC, with all of the amazing, good grief, just the setups of the world in PC, I would have thought that ray tracing would have been bare minimum what the PC would be able to do, but I guess maybe that falls on PlayStation for not, I don't know, giving the option to the PC gamer. But nonetheless, it ain't too much to talk about here. Just know the DLLS, it might come later on down the road, but there ain't no hope for ray tracing on Days Gone on the PC. And I got to say, I mean, I've seen a couple of the screenshots. I've seen a few of the enemies and all of that stuff. And I got to say, man, look, maybe I'm blind. Maybe I just don't have, the sight to see, the difference. But to me, I didn't really see where it was such a huge difference on the PC versus console. But that's just me. That's me. I don't know. I might be on an island by myself, but it didn't look that great. Didn't look like it was so head and shoulders above what the PlayStation 4 was able to do. But, that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on into the next story. So let's jump into I would say one of the stories of the week. Let's jump into some huge PSVR2 news. So over on IGN, Unload VR is citing multiple, quote, reliable sources, end of quote, who say Sony has shared details to their partners about PSVR2's features. Now, the report is suggesting that the new headset could feature a quote, 4,000 by 2040 pixels or 2,000 by 2040 per eye, end of quote, resolution. God dog. Now it's saying that it'll have gaze tracking and a lens separation adjustment detail. Now the eye tracking tech within the headset will allow for how do you pronounce this word? Foveated rendering. God dog, I caught myself up there, but y'all get it? Foveated. Foveated, God dog. And maybe I'm saying it wrong. Pardon me. But foveated rendering, that's what I'm going to call it, which is a technique that allows VR experiences to reduce the quality of rendering in players' peripheral vision. So basically, allowing the devs to increase the quality of what players see. So that's excellent, man. Trust me, I couldn't pronounce the word that great, but in short, man, that's a real good feature because you'll get the best quality that the devs can offer. Now, another incredible feature that they brought up was haptic feedback, which in the report it suggested it could be implemented via a motor in the headset and would complement the new VR controllers, which also have haptic feedback. Now, the headset will also have an onboard camera that will track the position of the controllers, which would reduce the amount of peripherals needed to make the headset work, which is one of the things with the original PSVR. You needed that camera to be a certain way in order for it to pick up on your movements. If it wasn't, then man, you weren't playing the game the way that you were supposed to, or it would have been the best experience. With this onboard camera, man, take that completely off the table. It's embedded into the headset, which means you will be able to move around freely and all that stuff. But wait a minute, we're going to get back to the features in just a minute. I want to just continue on. Now, it also is still being reported, and I love this, that the PSVR 2 will connect to the PS5 via one single USB-C cable. Man, let's talk about this for a minute. So here you have, man, listen, man, I'm all tongue-tied right now because I'm excited. You guys know that I'm pumped up, and I know some of y'all are saying, shout out to Vaughn. Shout out to Glove Box. Shout out to Mike J. I know they are probably saying, why are you so hyped up and you have a PSVR that you have not opened up, brother? Listen, man, I'm working on it, brothers. Trust me, I'm working on it. But the thing that gets me so excited about this is the fact that, man, this eye tracking tech inside of it, along with the thing that really gets me there, man, with the possibilities of this thing, is just the fact that it could have a motor inside of the headset for haptic feedback. Golly, I don't even know how the world something like that is gonna work. I mean, I was talking to AB, shout out to that good brother. He was saying maybe it would work really good in a boxing game or something. Man, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Like if you're getting hit in the face and you can actually feel like the headset like rumbling, boom, boom. And then, you got the haptic feedback, in the controllers as well, man. This thing is gonna be immersive. If it comes off the way that it sounds, now this could all go by the wayside. Once this thing comes out and they say, oh yeah, that motor thing, nah, that was just our rumor. That was not true. So it would probably take away a little bit of the pizzazz of it, but still I would be hyped up because the controllers are going to have that haptic feedback in it. And just the fact that you'll be able to have this 2000 by 2040 per eye resolution. I mean, God, dog, man, that's pretty doggone good, brothers. That is amazing. Just thinking about it. Oh, man, and just the one USB-C cable is needed. None of the cumbersome wires in the box that you used to need for the original PSVR. They took all of that away. One cable. Hook that up to the PlayStation 5 and you are on your way, good sir or good ma'am. You are out of here. You're into the virtual world and you're playing. I can't imagine what these games are gonna look like. I mean, with this big of an upgrade, having this kind of tech, God, dog, now that I'm thinking about it, this tech. Oh, buddy, how much is this PSVR 2 gonna be? My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Oh, brothers, oh man, $500, $600, good brothers. Oh, man, I don't know. But either way, it is going to be awesome. It sounds like it's going to be great. Going to get some great, just hopefully some great experiences with this PSVR. Man, I have rambled on long enough about the PSVR 2. I think it is time for us to go ahead and move on into the next story. So, over a week ago, by the way, I got this from Game Informer, but it's been, I guess a little over a week ago, we got the news that Sony was renewing the trademark for Sunset Overdrive, which has led many, including myself, to believe a sequel is in the works. Well, this week, we got a little bit more info on the subject. When the director of Sunset Overdrive, his name is Marcus Smith, he sat down with GQ magazine and had this to say about Sunset Overdrive. He said, and I quote, "I think there are a lot of stories that can be told in that universe, and I would love to return to it. I had a lot of fun making that game. I mean, never say never is my approach." End of quote. What was his answer when he was asked about a second game? Now, he continued, and I quote, "Obviously, we're a part of Sony now, but we own the IP, and so there's nothing really stopping us other than we have a lot of really exciting things in the future." End of quote. So here, he is not confirming, and he is not denying that a Sunset Overdrive 2 could happen in the future. He said, quote, "Never, I never say never." So, this has two different things. One, the trademark renewal, unless they are blowing smoke, It was simply just to make sure that the name, was trademarked and they would be able to use it in the future if they wanted to. The second thing this says to me is it doesn't seem like anything at the moment, again, unless he's blowing smoke. It doesn't seem like anything as far as Sunset Overdrive, anything related to that IP is in the works, but they own it. It's nothing stopping them. Sony owns them. So if they really wanted this to happen, it is nothing that's holding them back from doing it. They'll get the budget because they're with Sony, and it was a successful enough IP, I would say, on the Xbox. It didn't sell well, though. To be fair, it didn't sell too well. But I think that on the PlayStation, it would do a lot better. Seems like a PlayStation type of game, I can't really explain it, but it just seems like it has that kind of aesthetic that would go over well with that player base. So who knows what the future of the IP is going to hold? We will have to see. But right now, I truly, in my heart of hearts, I don't think they're working on anything with Sunset Overdrive, at least at the moment. But I'm hoping that in the future, in the very near future, we'll get something that's Sunset Overdrive related, whether it's a sequel, whether it's a remake, whether it's a remaster, just something. Just to, let us know that the IP, it is well, is doing good, and they have plans on using it, in the future. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on into the next story. So this is in quick news. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The file size has been revealed, and I got this from a comic book. Shout out to them. But the file size has been revealed, and it will take up 39.3 gigabytes of hard drive space. So really not that bad. I would say not bad at all. Matter of fact, I gotta let you guys know, with a game looking that amazing, I mean, we're talking Pixar levels here, brothers and sisters, I figured that game was going to be about 65, 70 gigs, easy. And you tell me it is less than 40 gigs? Now, granted, I don't know. Y'all know how these companies do. The game releases and all of a sudden you got that day one patch, 179 gigabytes for the day one patch. I don't know, man. It could go up to 50 gigs. I don't know. But hopefully this 39.3 is exactly what the game is. No updates, none of that stuff. This is the file size. So we will see. And I'm telling you, Ratchet & Clank, golly, man. Rift Apart, brothers and sisters. I got to get it. I have to have it. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I dreamed of this kind of stuff, man. Like literally. As a young teenager, man, I would dream about like seeing Pixar. How Toy Story was back then, man. Good grief, that. And it was a cartoon that used to come on Saturday morning. Some of you guys might remember it. It was called Reboot. Reboot, seeing that in Toy Story as a teenager. Oh my gosh. All I can say is one day. All I could do was dream and say, one day I think Gaben is going to do this. It's going to happen. I mean, and it's been years in the making. And finally, man, it seems like we have gotten there. The industry has gotten so close. Whereas at one point in time, that was just a pipe dream. To have those kind of visuals actually be playable. I mean, you could get those kind of visuals back then, but it was a cutscene. You wasn't interacting with it, you was watching. But now for that to be real time and even better than that, because Reboot, man, we have well surpassed that. I mean, man, leaps and bounds past where Reboot's graphics were back in the day on that cartoon. But just getting to the Pixar level, now it's like, oh my goodness, we're getting the pinnacle now. We're definitely hitting it. And shout out to Insomniac for doing such an amazing job. I'm telling you, This game is going to be up for Game of the Year. It's going to get 9s and 10s. I guarantee it. 9s and 10s. This game is going to be darn near flawless. I'm telling y'all, brothers. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on because for the sake of time, brothers. But with Mass Effect Legendary Edition being released, it's no secret that the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3 is missing. But in an interview with CNET, Mass Effect Legendary Edition project director Mac Walters isn't throwing the towel in on the matter just yet. Now, he said, and I quote, "I would never say no to that. We want to see what kind of reception the Legendary Edition gets and what the demand for the multiplayer is, and then we'll ask ourselves if we have the resources and time to bring it up to the quality level we and fans want." End of quote. By the way, shout out to IGN. Got this from them as well. But this is awesome news because that was one thing in the early goings of Mass Effect Legendary Edition that people were saying, man, is the multiplayer going to be in there? And at the time, he said, no, we're not really concentrating on that right now. We're concentrating on the game, and that's about it for now. But now we see that now that the game is out there, that's switched. So possibly if you guys are asking for it, if they have a big enough turnout with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, then the multiplayer aspect of the game, of Mass Effect 3, could definitely happen. But it seems like it's going to pretty much be up to you guys, up to us, the gamer, to let them know if that's something that we would love for them to do. Matter of fact, God, dog, before I forget, speaking of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I didn't even get a chance to get to the store and pick it up. But the thing is, we've had Mass Effect Legendary Edition come out this week. Resident Evil came out about a week and a half ago. New games are coming, brothers and sisters. And right here, right now, you hear it. Listen. Do a little bit of ASMR on y'all. Listen to that. Yeah, I got right here a $25 gift card for the Xbox store, the digital store. So, for any of you guys that are interested in this, get your pens ready. Get your Crayolas ready. Get your paper ready to write down this code because I love giving these away. It's just a small token of my appreciation of you guys coming and rocking out with me. So thank y'all for that. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and get this code out to y'all. So the code is as follows. It is YYVR9 7TFVR VR hobby doggone 2QGMJ FDT 2V 9V WFZ. Write that down. Hopefully this $25 finds one of y'all because, man, y'all mother lovers never told me which one of y'all won the doggone Nintendo eShop card, man. Hopefully we'll have better success with this one, god dog. It hit me up. Let me know that you got the card so I can shout you out on the podcast. Let a brother know, man. Anyway, that's about it for that. I had to give it away on the Xbox for Mass Effect Legendary Edition because the Xbox has the better version, running at 120 frames per second. Or at least I know a lot of people want to get technical. So up to 120 frames per second when the PlayStation 4 and 5 version is stuck at 60. God, dog, you gotta get the better version in your life. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on into the next story. So, if you own Watch Dogs Legion, then you will be happy to know, and I know Watch Dogs ain't got the best reception, but bear with me here, bear with me. But if you own Watch Dogs Legion, then you will be happy to know a pretty big new feature is coming to the game. Now, it was revealed during a tea time with Bagley. Golly, sound like an upstanding individual. His name is Bagley. Updated that the 4.5 update will bring the Tactical Op, Project Omni, and Quote, as well as one of the biggest requests from our next-gen console players, 60 frames per second performance mode. End of quote. We're very excited to bring this to the game. End of quote. Actually, that was all one quote. So, end of quote. So, yeah. Watch Dogs Legion. I know, good grief, I know the game ain't really went over too well with a lot of gamers, but 60 frames per second. Matter of fact, that's just one of the, see, that's the beauty of the next gen consoles, man. You got the option. You got the option to say, look, man, I don't want this to be that. I want it to be this instead of that. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to bring that up, man. I think I'm going to bring that up at the end of the show. Anyway, 60 frames per second. That's awesome. I ain't too much more to say. We're going to go ahead and move on into the next story. So let's talk about EA, because in a tweet, EA said, and I quote, EA Play Live is coming back July 22nd. Save the date. End of quote. So this is very different. Because usually their event would be happening during E3 week. And we see that, God dog, not only are they just, a week late or 2 weeks late, these jokers rolled it over to a whole nother month. So my goodness, when does E3 start? What, June 12th? These jokers said, man, July 22nd. That's about right. That's where we feel comfortable. That's where we feeling real comfy. July 22nd. I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, good grief, you want to stand out. This is definitely one way to do it. Now, I don't know if they're with Jeff Keighley and his Summer Games. Oh, man, that Summer Games Fest. Goodness gracious. Man, you want to talk about a struggle. Oh, that show was a struggle. Jeff Keighley, I got a lot of respect for you, brother, but God, dog, you got to work on that one, man. I don't know if EA is part of that or what's going on, but July 22nd, that's when you'll be getting, I guess the EA E3-esque like show, and you'll see the new games I'm sure that they have coming out, Battlefield 6 and whatever the world EA has going on, man. Maybe Star Wars, God dog it Part 2. Can't even think of the name of the game. God dog, Jedi Fallen Order Part 2. Who the world knows, man? I don't know. But July 22nd, be on the lookout for that. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, man, God dog, I sure hope this don't start all over again, because last year at E3, man, the floodgates were open, and it was in the worst way possible, if you ask me. I enjoy E3, that one blitz week of all kind of news coming out throughout the week. I don't want this stuff spread here and there and across the street and down the road and across the block. I want everything just in one. Give it to me in 1 week, because when that happened, news for me. Man, y'all know I'm a truck driver. I'm on the road, man. I ain't home every single day, so it's like, man, something comes out and I'm missing it. I'm like, good grief, I caught that a whole day later, so I just don't. Man, I know the corona, God, dog, it's messed up a lot of things, a lot of way more important things than gaming, of course, but just the ramifications, I'm going to just keep it on gaming, the ramifications, man, it's like they have opened up a floodgate, and everybody just feels like, look, we're going to do what we want to do when we want to do it, and granted, these are billion-dollar, multi-million-dollar companies. I mean, you do what the heck you want to do. I mean, do what you feel. But it's just for a person like me, man, I just like all of the news in 1 week. That way I can follow it. And I mean, we all follow this gaming culture daily, so it's not like we need it all in 1 week, but just, that's the blitz. That's the Super Bowl of gaming. Is that time of year, is in June. And I ain't gonna say it upsets me, because then I'd be doing the fake outrage stuff. But it's just like, man, I just wish it would just stay in that month. And it's just a fun month. You know, it's E3 month. So them moving outside of that into July, I'm saying to myself, man, I hope nobody else moves to doggone August, because last year was the worst. Man, it was the worst. Everybody just spread out. Anyway, man, I ain't gonna harp on this too much longer. I think I did already, but shucks, I just don't want the same situation to happen all over again like last year, where everybody is just fanned out to the max and you can't keep up. Well, at least I couldn't. I don't want to speak for y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the next story. So let's circle back to Ubisoft. Now, it was confirmed that Ubisoft Reflections creator of the Driver series is staffing up for a new IP. So according to the job listing, they are looking for a narrative designer. Now, the new IP will have elements of open world games. Now, they also are looking for someone who can help craft backstories for multiple characters, locations, objects, and events. I wonder what this could be. Now, Ubisoft, they have come under the gun a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of excited about this. I actually like the Driver IP back from the PlayStation, then on the Xbox, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of fell off after a while. It just, yeah, you know, when you were floating from car to car, like out of body experiences and stuff, I was like, okay, brother, you have taken it to another level. Okay, I'm out, you know, but I guess it was a kind of cool. Nah, man, I ain't like it. Too much of a departure for me. But you know, just these guys over at Reflections, I think they do pretty good work. I don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be open world. We know it's not going to be another Driver game because it's a new IP. But what I wanted to say was, yeah, Ubisoft, they came under fire a little bit this week because they said that they aren't going to be making as many AAA games, and they're going to be having a lot of free-to-play games out on the market. And people were saying, man, I don't know how that's going to make money for them, or how they're going to survive, or how bad is the quality of their games going to get once this starts happening. Man, I got no idea. I have no clue. I mean, Ubisoft is definitely one of my favorite, you know, publishers. They have some, I mean, huge, highly successful IPs up under their umbrella. You know, they got Assassin's Creed, which I absolutely enjoy. They got Watch Dogs now. They got, what's the other game? Beyond Good and Evil, which we don't know what the heck happened with that. Where the heck is that at? You know, a couple of them, Rainbow Six, the Tom Clancy stuff. Anyway, I mean, I don't need to go into it too much. We all know what they got up under the umbrella. But, you know, I just don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens. I'm sure that they're not going to fully just step completely away from AAA titles, because I would have to imagine that that's their bread and butter. I mean, I understand they're getting into the free-to-play, and that free-to-play model, it has made billions of dollars for some of these companies, but not all of them are hits. You definitely have more misses than hits. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. I have no idea. But, in short, just know if you are a Reflections fan that they're working on this brand new IP. It's going to be open world. And, also, they're trying to find somebody to craft some stories in this mother lover. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Well, I don't know about that. But let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. So, in quick news, the upcoming PS4, PS5 game Sifu. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to that one. It will give you the option to be a a female character. Now I ain't gonna lie, brothers. I needed something to pad out the show. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, no cap. I needed something to kind of, fill out the corners a tad bit, because I have no more information on this. Just a female character you'll be able to play. You got the option, and that's pretty much it. I mean, hooray, God dog it, hooray. This is excellent. This is great. Man, God dog, yeah, it ain't too much more to say about this. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah. I do want to talk about Sifu for just a minute. Sifu, actually, is it just me? Or does this game remind you, because it reminds me of it, Sleeping Dogs? I mean, this game, it has the kind of aesthetic, like when you kick the leg, it kind of glows or shows you when you're going to hit the enemy. I mean, God dog, this game look fly as ever, man. I can't even, man, good grief. I can't lie. This game looks really, really good. I'm excited, and I'm telling you, as a person who enjoyed Sleeping Dogs, who thought Sleeping Dogs should have got a sequel, man, this might be the closest we come to it. But if any of you guys, I got this off of PSU, by the way, but for any of you guys that want to choose a female character in the upcoming game Sifu, you will have the option to do so. Now, they still say that the game is supposed to release this year, so we gonna have to find out, see what the world happens with that. I really hope it still does happen, because I'm definitely excited about it. Seems like it's gonna be more of a AA game, so probably 30, maybe 30 or 40 seems real high though, but let's try to stick between $24.99 and $30, but it might go up to 40. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into the next story. So during a recent financial report from Sega, it was revealed that the company will be re-evaluating its current list of IPs to determine which properties could see a potential reboot, remaster, or remake. Now, the report reveals the full list of active and dormant IPs which Sega is currently holding under examination. So here is the list. You got Crazy Taxi. That was cool. I don't know. You got Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. Golly, y'all know that's what I want. I want Jet Set to get the doggone treatment. I want this to become not just a remake or a remaster. I need them to reboot this mother lover. Yes, Jet Set Radio. You got Space Channel 5. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. Back in my day, I gave this a shot on the Dreamcast because I don't even know what the world made me pick up Space Channel 5. But brothers, or was it on the Xbox? I'm not sure, but brothers, God dog, this game was really good. It was pretty doggone good. You had to what was it? You had to memorize the pattern of, the dance moves and whatnot. Almost something like Parappa kinda. But man, Lulu was rocking, brothers. I mean, she had the microphone. She'd be strutting with a crew. Yeah, that was a pretty good game. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that come back. I can't even believe I shared that with y'all. God darn. We got Rez is being considered as well. I never really got into Rez too much. I believe that it's a more so of a music kind of game. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I've heard of it. Panzer Dragoon. Man, listen, Sega. Oh, buddy, oh, pal. I don't know about Panzer Dragoon. They tried it on the Xbox One. Yeah, that didn't really work out. I don't know if you should go back there, Sega. You might want to go on and leave old Dragoon out. I don't know. But you got Knights. Now, Knights is interesting because Knights, that released back on the Sega Saturn, and that was like one of the first games, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong because y'all know my memory is terrible. But on the Sega Saturn, that was the first game I remembered seeing where you needed the analog stick, the analog joystick to actually play the game. And it was so interesting to see the way that the character would move up and down and whatnot. Knights, I wouldn't mind seeing that make a comeback. That'd be kind of cool, but that was definitely the game that introduced me to the analog stick on the Sega Saturn. So we have up next, oh, now this is big. Oh, this is big, man. They are considering Shinobi. Shinobi making a comeback. And we see what Ghost of Tsushima has done so far to have the OOOG Shinobi come back. Man, I think we could all get behind Shinobi. Pause on that. Y'all know what I mean. We could get behind this game coming out and being amazing. I mean, good grief, Shinobi, that game. Man, brothers, I remember seeing it for the first time. I was over my buddy Maurice's house. Man, oh man. Shout out to him, man. When I was over there, he had showed me this on his Sega Master System, and I think it was built in to his console. I was like, man, where's the cartridge? He was like, man, ain't no cartridge, just built into the system. I was like, wow, this is next level. But when he showed it to me and he got to the bonus stage where he was throwing the ninja stars and stuff, I was like, man, this is insane. So I went from that to actually playing it on the Sega Genesis, Revenge of Shinobi, Shadow Dance. Man, now wait a minute. Now, Shadow Dancer, God dog, that one right there. Now that holds a special place in the guy's heart, man. Because I remember my grandmother. Oh, man, miss her, man. God dog, miss her a lot. My grandmother, she had bought that for me. We were out and we had went up to, I think we were on Route 40 West. And up there, it was a Montgomery Ward out there. Was it a Sears, man? I forget. But I went in there and I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, could I please have this? Now, of course, I mean, this is like $50 back in 92 or 93, whenever the game released. And she was like, just hold on. I might get it for you. Just relax. You're being too excited. So she calmed me down and I'm all jumping up and down, getting hype, hoping she's going to get it. And she bought it for me. And man, I'm going to tell you, the ride home, if any of you guys from my era on the ride home with a brand new game, you are doing one of two things. You're either going to leave it in the wrapper and you're just going to look at the back of the box and imagine what the game is going to play like as you're looking at the little pictures on the back, or you're opening up the game and you are reading the manual on the way home, and it is the longest ride to get back to the crib and pop the game in. I was sitting there reading the manual, man, back and forth. Got home, threw that in, good grief, played that game for hours. I beat it the same day. I tried not to, but it was so good that I kept playing it. And my favorite stage was the it was the Liberty, golly, what is it, y'all? The Statue of Liberty. That stage was amazing. The music was incredible. Man, I need this. Oh my goodness, Shinobi, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely incredible. And one of the couple of games that they had, Virtual Fighter. I know one sub said Tekken would love for that to happen. Virtual Fighter. That would be dope. Man, it was the first time I saw polygons that looked that amazing in the arcade. It was like something I had never seen at the time. So yeah, Virtual Fighter. That would be great. That would be awesome. You got Altered Beast on the list as well. Altered Beast, man, came with the Sega Genesis back in the day, power up. Oh my goodness. Takes me back to a time. Didn't they try to reboot this a couple of years ago, though? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Altered Beast came out too well. when they tried to do it, but that's not to say that they couldn't make it great. It could actually end up being a great game, so we'll have to see. But man, I gotta speed this up. Oh shucks. Okay, so they got House of the Dead that's coming out as well. I wouldn't mind that. And Soul Hackers. I have no idea what Soul Hackers is. That's something I have never heard of. But yeah, on a side now, just a sidebar. After hearing this list, Sega is working on a quote super game, end of quote. There's going to be a first-person shooter, and I think it's supposed to be coming out within like the next 5 years. So I don't know what that's about. 5-year wait, well, up to a 5-year wait, first-person shooter. Maybe we'll get some information on it 2-3 years from now. I don't know, but they're definitely working on it. I'm going to tell y'all. Oh, man. Jet Set Radio, Shinobi. And I would say for the third game that I would love to see come back, I ain't gonna say Space Channel 5. Y'all probably thought I was gonna say that stuff. But I would say Altered Beast. I wouldn't mind seeing Altered Beast make a nice little comeback. See what they could do with that. But yeah, man, we gonna go ahead and move on. Sega, make it happen, brothers. Make it happen, god dog it. For older people like myself. But let's get into the next story. So Horizon Forbidden West is definitely a highly anticipated game. I'm all tongue-tied, pardon me. Gotta do it at least once a show. But highly anticipated game for myself. But info on this title has been pretty scarce. And it still is. But we did get a small, and I mean this is just a small little piece of a morsel of how immersive the game will be from Angie Smets, who is a director at Guerrilla Games, who said, and I quote, "If you want to take a stealth approach to a combat situation and you dive into the long grass, you can feel those long grass leaves." End of quote. Now this right here, good gosh, this DualSense controller is a situation. Anytime. Now, this is the thing. We hear a lot of things all the time. Us as gamers, this is the next level. This is going to take us to the next level. This thing is going to be amazing. I mean, all we got to do is just go back to the Fable franchise, and I forget his name, but he definitely did a lot of promises and a lot of things that he just couldn't execute it. Maybe it wasn't the technology, wasn't where he needed it to be, but it was a lot of things. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't think of the brother's name, but yeah, him. We get these lofty ideas from these developers and say that this is going to be this and that, and it doesn't ever happen. But I gotta say, with this DualSense controller, even though I have not held one, yet, I'm looking forward to it. Next month, when Ratchet and Clank comes in and I'm able to get a PS5 and play it, I have to say, everybody I've talked to, they all say the same thing, that this DualSense controller is the real deal. It's incredible. It's a game changer. Some people have said between this and the SSD, like the faster loading times, two best things about the console. So when this gentleman, whose name is Angie Smets, says that if you want to be stealth about it and you're in the grass and you can actually feel the long grass leaves on your hand through the controller, wow, man, I can't imagine. I mean, just imagine you're going through this thick foliage of grass, and we know that the first one, that was absolutely what you were in, a whole lot of grass, foliage, and all of that stuff. And as you're going through, whether you're going fast or slow, the grass leaves, it adjusts to your speed. So if you're walking real slow, well, it's stealth, so you gotta walk slow. But you walking slow and creeping around, and you just feel the grass leaves just slightly hitting your hand. Golly, just grazing your hand, or grazing, I should say, your hand. That's a level, man. I can't wait. I'm excited for this. I mean, you got that along with the visuals of this game. Good gosh, man. It didn't. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is definitely something I am absolutely looking forward to. And just as a whole, for the PlayStation 5, it is a feature that I am really anticipating getting my hands on to really just, enjoy this new tech that Sony has put together. It's amazing, man. Well, since we're talking about Sony, this is actually going to take us out into the sunset. So let's stick with PlayStation here. And I got this story from a Tech Spot, by the way. But our PlayStation studio head, Herman Hulse, told Wired that they have more than 25 titles they are working on, and about half are new IPs. Now, to be fair, that doesn't mean that they are all exclusive to the PlayStation 5. But Hulse did say this, and I quote, "There are incredible amounts of variety originating from different regions, big, small, different genres." Golly, I read that all messed up. But he was just saying big, small, and different genres. End of quote. So, yeah, they're going to cover a grand scope of a game. So, to me, this says that, look, even though it's going to be coming from different regions, don't expect all of these to be AAA, because he did say big and small, so not all are going to be AAA. And once again, not all of these are going to be exclusive to the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, a lot of people, when they saw the 25, initially, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, me, I thought 25 IPs, 25 games, man, they're about to blow it out the water. I truly thought they were all PlayStation exclusives, but nah, that's not going to be the case. Now, however, some of them could be timed, and maybe on the PlayStation 5 for a long time, a year, 2 years. I mean, we see what's going on with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, that was supposed to have been up this year in April. Here it is. We're in the middle of May right now. Doggone, they're getting ready to go into June, and it's still exclusive. And the new DLC is going to be exclusive for at least 6 months. So, you know how these deals go with Sony. Sony, they throw them the bag. And the thing is, man, and we had an hour, and I'm about to have to wrap this up. But the thing is that Sony, man, they've been selling so well. Their games, I don't know what it is. Not even their games, just third-party games seem to sell better on the PlayStation. I mean, they said, good grief, 80%, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but 80% of Resident Evil Village, or 8, whatever you want to call it, sales were off of the PlayStation. 80%, and like 20% were off of Xbox. Now, granted, I don't know if those are UK numbers or whatever the case may be, but it should not be that one-sided. I mean, that is a huge, gigantic difference between the two platforms. It ain't even like 60-40. I mean, this is 80%. So if that continues to happen, and I know that's just one game, but it's already been reported multiple times that PlayStation, they always sell more. Well, third parties seem to sell more on the PlayStation versus Xbox. And you can say, well, there's more PlayStations out there. Yeah, but not all of these games are selling 10 and 12 and 15 million copies. Some of these games are selling like 2 and 3. You mean to tell me that Xbox, Xbox fan base, and I understand that, if you don't like the game, you don't like the game. But Xbox owners can't make up $1 million out of the 3 for some of these games. It baffles me. And this is way before Game Pass was a thing. way before. So it just baffles my mind that games just don't seem to sell well on the Xbox. And some people can say that, well, the game wasn't that good. It wasn't that great. We only support great games. Man, there's been some really, really good games that haven't sold well on Xbox, man. So, I mean, when sequels don't happen, when certain games just, golly, the guy said it, man, from PlayStation talking about Days Gone. You ain't support the game. We ain't get a chance to make a sequel. End of story. When you're not supporting the developers, and I mean, listen, man, y'all know how I feel. You give me entertainment, I give you money. It's a fair exchange. I don't want anything for free. I'm cool. I'll pay you for it if I want it. But when the games aren't being supported on one platform, that's less incentive to have some of these guys say, well, look, I would love to be on your platform, exclusively for a year or 6 months, 9 months, whatever the case may be. And I understand Game Pass is the thing, so they can throw them the money to do that. But still, it could keep some things off of the platform if it's not getting the support, or if the numbers are showing that the player base doesn't support the games as much as the other console. That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand it. I'm baffled. But anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week. Somebody tell me, what is the situation? I'm just curious to know. Anyway, you know what? We're in the final section of the podcast, and, this is fitting. This is exactly where the question came from this week. Is Game Pass hurting? Yeah, you guys saw it. I know y'all saw it. We're going to go over it right now. Is Game Pass hurting Xbox game sales? I'm curious to know, because here it is. It's a new mentality now that, okay, I'm not going to buy that game because it's going to come to Game Pass eventually. One day, it's going to come to Game Pass, so I'm not supporting it. Let Microsoft pay the developer, and I'm going to get it in my subscription. I mean, golly, I really want to know, because it seems like now it's a ray of hope. It's like, okay, whoa. This one just came out this week. If I wait maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe a year, it could end up in Game Pass, and I ain't got to pay a dime for it. Because everybody's counter. When you talk about PlayStation has Spider-Man Miles Morales, they've released Demon Souls. They have Ratchet and Clank coming out next month, a Game of the Year contender. I guarantee you. They got Returnal that's released to really good reviews. What has Xbox done? What have they given you? Man, they gave me Game Pass. That's what I got. I got Game Pass. What? You got Game Pass? It's like listen, I know Game Pass. I don't have the service, but I know it's an excellent service. I get it. It's a lot of AAAs in there. It's a lot of great games in there. But man, is this hurting Xbox's game sales? And I'm only asking, look, listen, I'm never into, the only reason why I care about the financials when it comes to any of these companies is because I want them to survive. I want them to maintain. I want them to be around in the next 15 to 20 years. I'm not talking about Microsoft. We know they're going to be around forever. As much money as they have, they are fine. I'm talking about the Xbox brand. Because at the end of the day, the game sales that they do get, I mean, they do get a cut of that. They get what? I was off, I think, the last time. I think they get like 30% of it, somewhere around there. I know that Microsoft, they're allegedly dropping the price on the Microsoft store to 18% cut. But I believe on the console, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do, but I believe they get 30% of that. And if they aren't selling enough copies of the games, and their competition is getting 80% of the sales. My goodness, it's only a matter of time before they start sitting back and saying, man, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know if we can continue to keep investing all of this money and we're not getting anything back. And once again, I don't care about the company itself. I only care about, I don't care about the financials, I should say. Again, I only care about it because of the self-preservation of the company being able to make it and continue to be around. Because if they're not making money, they're going to eventually shut down whatever division that they have going on. And right now, God dog, these numbers are crazy to me. You know, that Xbox fans aren't supporting the games more than, you know, PlayStation fans are. And this ain't even a console war situation. I'm just talking about the support. You know, for your favorite or your your favorite platform. I'm just saying support it. The different games, I get it. Not every game is gonna be for everybody. You know, I mean, that's just impossible. But some of these games are really, really good. And on the Xbox side, they don't seem to get the same support as they do on PlayStation. That's all I'm saying. So once again, that's why I'm asking the question. Is Game Pass hurting Xbox game sales? It's a genuine question. I'm just curious to know. I don't want to see I don't want to see Xbox go away. That's the only reason why I'm asking. I mean, we all know that they are underneath the Microsoft umbrella. They got billions of dollars. We get it. But if any division isn't making money, we know Microsoft will eventually shut it down. And I'm not saying that Xbox, the division, isn't making enough money, but when you hear these sales numbers, it's alarming to me. Maybe not to anybody else, but it makes me think about, if this continues to go on for years, where's that going to land the Xbox brand as a whole? I mean, we already saw how they canceled and took away the Twitch rival, and I forgot the name of that doggone platform that they had. They shut that down right away after they invested millions upon millions of dollars getting Ninja over there on the platform, and it didn't work. They said, you know what, we're bleeding too much, cut it, shut it down, and people pretty much lost their their streaming gig when it came to it, but they shut it down. So we know that if it's not making money, it's only a matter of time. So, I'm just curious to know. If you want to be a part of the conversation, do it two different ways, brothers and sisters. Either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. My voice is going to be sore after that. Or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell. And we getting ready to just wrap it up. Thank you guys again for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the amazing, incredible support. And I just really, really appreciate y'all. Again, whoever wins this $25 gift card, hit me up by email or by the phone, man. Let me know you got it so I can shout you out. God dog it. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one on up and put a bow on it. But before we officially get out of here, always remember, it is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until Wednesday, when we do it again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.